Hey guys, welcome to the channel and another video. Today I'm going to be watching Thunderball by Terrence Young, starring Sir Sean Connery. I just watched and loved Goldfinger on the channel, so do check that out if you have the time. If you guys are unaware, I'm watching and reviewing the entire Bond franchise over the year. I'm 3 down and I'm having a blast so far. Although I loved Goldfinger, I felt like there was an element of continuity missing, most notably the absence of the Spectre organization that was introduced in the first 2 films. I've been told to expect more Spectre in Thunderball, so I'm very excited for that. I have 0 clues about the plot of this one though. All I'm hoping for is more classic Bond with his Aston Martin and his assortment of gadgets. The other thing I know is that Q and M, they're back in their roles, so that's great. But before we get into it, to help support the channel, I have a Patreon page for full-length reviews and reactions to this film and over 110 movies, early access and weekly polls for what to watch next. You'll need your own copy to watch along. The link's in the description below, by the way. Please consider being a patron. Please subscribe to the channel. Click that bell icon for instant notifications. Do check out my other videos, like if you liked this video, dislike it if you didn't. With all that being said, let's get started. Thunderball, Young, Connery, let's go. Classic. This never gets old. This looks like another cold open.
I've come to offer my sincere condolences.
Oh! That's an assassin. Nice touch, Mr. Bond. Oh man, it's a real jetpack! They probably did it with wires. It's very impressive for the time, nonetheless. And it's his Aston Martin DB5. Thunderball. I like the lyrics. He directed the first 2, but the third one was directed by Guy Hamilton.
Hey, no parking here!
Eye patch and attitude. He's probably not a good guy. Ooh, Spectre!
NATO project.
And that's the head of Spectre. We haven't seen him yet.
We will now proceed with the area financial reports.
I love this set.
I have satisfied myself that one of you is clearly guilty of embezzlement.
The set looks like a proper villain's lair with booby traps and everything. It's just brilliant.
Your report, number 2.
Thank you, number 1. Our intention is to demand a ransom from the North Atlantic Treaty Powers of $280 million.
I see you've discovered that too. Oh, nice to have met you, Mr. Bond.
A red square with a spike through it.
Yes, I think it's a Tong sign. The Red Dragon from Macau.
Oh, it's not Spectre. Red Dragon from Macau.
Moneypenny. Next time I see you, I'll put you across my knee.
On yogurt and lemon juice? I can hardly wait.
Still flirting with Moneypenny. Connery's so awesome as Bond.
Do I seem healthy?
Too healthy by far. First time I felt really safe all day.
I can imagine, lady. Oh no. 200 pounds of pressure.
Mr. Bond! Mr. Bond!
I must be 6 inches tall.
Oh, you poor dear.
Even at the brink of death, he has his one-liners.
Well, you wouldn't tell Dr. Wayne. Please.
I suppose my silence could have a price.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's go for blackmail then, Mr. Bond. Not to mention the fact that he was almost dead a couple of minutes ago, and he's ready to go. And that's one way to exact his revenge.
I'll tell the chef.
Let me on this bloody machine! Help!
You'll be here when I come back?
Your coat, sir?
Ciao.
It's an impersonator, an imposter.
Your breathing equipment? Gamma gas. Instantaneous.
$100,000 is not enough.
I'll inform number one we made a new arrangement.
His watch, identification disc. Au revoir.
No. He always says ciao.
Ciao.
Of 45,000 feet, armed with 2 atomic bombs, MOS type.
Oh no, this aircraft has 2 bombs, and it's being flown by somebody hired by Spectre. Interesting choice of music.
I don't know. Could it be the front doorbell?
James Bond just saw the body, but he didn't put 2 and 2 together quite yet. Oh no. I wonder how they achieved this with scale models, most likely. It's very impressive nonetheless.
Switch on the underwater landing lights.
That clearly looks like a scale model. So they're hiding it underwater. Interesting. That Angelo dude looks like he's stuck. Oh, he's being killed by Spectre because he asked for more money. And they have a submarine. Wow. Yeah, this underwater aspect of production looks very impressive.
Are you pleased with your new toys?
Some safety device, a secret control.
What can they have that the great Ladislav Kutz cannot handle?
Life was much simpler in my Warsaw laboratory.
Phase 2 completed.
Number 2 has done well.
Yeah, one gun isn't going to do anything against that bulletproof Aston Martin. Huh. I love explosions.
Yes, some people on the roads really burn you up these days.
Gorgeous set.
2 atomic bombs, numbers 456 and 457, are now in the possession of Spectre.
Payment will have to be made. To avoid general panic, the Prime Minister has asked that your department take charge of the
It's
operation.
quite a ransom message. Oh, nice touch.
Extensive search has failed to locate any evidence of either a crash or landing.
All the members of the crew had top security clearance.
It's the original pilot's sister.
Well, I saw him last night at Shrublands. He was dead.
Oh, no, sir, not possible.
If 007 says he saw Duval last night at Shrublands and he was dead.
Oh, well, yes, sir, of course.
Now, James, you can't pull the wool over my eyes. You may be able to calm the old man, but I know better.
So do I, Miss Moneypenny.
It's a running gag. Wow, these underwater shots, they're very impressive.
What else do you do and where?
You don't waste time.
I'd very much appreciate a lift.
Come aboard, then.
You don't mind taking the service boat, do you? Will I see you again?
It's a small island.
Looks like a fancy dinner party.
Bunko.
Banco, sir.
So number 2 is the Guardian then.
8.
8 à la porte. Un banco de 500 livres.
Ah, it's your Spectre against mine, huh?
He's using Spectre again to get his attention.
I understand you're Mr. Largo's niece.
Sounds better than mistress, kept woman.
I wouldn't say that. Where is your brother now?
In England.
How long are you staying on here in Nassau?
We are going the day after tomorrow.
I can see why he was such a popular character back then. every man wanted to be him and every woman wanted to be with him. And I don't blame either gender. He's counting the number of steps and calculating the distance.
Come
Who was he?
Like I said, a small fish.
What a villain. He has sharks.
No, it wasn't, baby.
They're feeding him to the sharks.
Here we have a Geiger counter. That's an underwater camera.
Is that clever?
But if you can take pictures in the dark with an infrared film, yes.
Oh, that's a pretty advanced camera for the time.
Could use this device. For short periods only, of course, say about 4 minutes.
I'm very much afraid we'll have to pay that price.
Sir.
Okay, we'll meet back at Pinder's.
Good luck.
They've already spotted him. Dude. Yeah, they're not letting him go that easy. Thunderball seems to be a more slower film compared to Goldfinger.
Can I have a lift?
What's your name?
James Bond.
That is instantly recognizable.
Well, this is as far as I go.
Yes, me too. This is my hotel.
What a coincidence.
Yeah, so convenient. Look at this.
A trap door.
An underwater hatch.
Underwater hatch.
Obviously, the whole operation was carried out underwater.
You can't have a Bond film without helicopters.
When the time is right, he will be killed.
Separate pool. For sharks, no less. Move in.
Let me show you around.
Oh, I'd love that. Seems terribly difficult.
They keep cutting to the sharks. They'll come into play later in the film. They have to.
Lunch is ready.
Thank you, my darling.
Come along, Mr. Bond.
Don't let her make so much noise. Use the chloroform.
James, Paula's gone.
What do you mean gone?
I don't know. She just checked out of the hotel.
I really love these scenes where he's actually being a spy.
She's dead.
Oh man, she killed herself. She'd rather die than give up info. These films are just filled with contraptions. Holy crap, they're stuck now. And I think they're releasing the sharks. Oh.
Oh.
You should be locked up in a cage.
And now we can go somewhere for an interesting talk.
Oh no. Genius.
It's no good you trying to escape, Mr. Bond.
Holy crap.
Mind if my friend sits this one out? She's just dead.
This continues in the great tradition of Bond one-liners. That was impeccable. Wow, that's a real stingray.
You won't find it down there. That's the Golden Grotto.
Settle down, Felix. I think we found it.
And they found it.
Speak.
Ow!
Sit down. I have to tell you something.
She's going to learn that he's dead. Oh no.
It involves your friend, Largo.
She's going to turn against him now. Oh! He just swallowed the tracker. They haven't even noticed. And it looks like Largo is going on the mission himself, which I did not expect. I have to get me one of these mini submarines and just go exploring off the Gold Coast or the coral reefs. Oh man. Wow, they hid the bombs underwater. I thought they were on the Volante. Yeah, the budget is huge compared to the previous films. I think the jig is up. They recognize him. Well, he's stuck again. Oh no. Beautiful shot. Ooh, he's gonna use his flare.
Good, that's him. Bomb is transferred from the Disco Volante onto a wreck off Bowie Point. Right.
Seriously, that's incredibly complex and very well coordinated. It's an actual underwater battle.
Good luck.
Oof. This is officially the first underwater explosion on the channel. I'm having the hardest time in locating Largo in all this mess. They're on the run.
Jettison cocoon.
Wow! Or is it a scale model? It's probably not a scale model because we can see the people inside. Beautiful explosion.
Tell them that I only did what I had to do, what I was told to do. But the bomb cannot be exploded now. I threw the arming device into the sea. Do you understand?
Oh. Explosion coming up. Oh, so satisfying. Okay, that's just awesome, straight up. I really enjoyed that, guys. Okay, so I took some time to collect my thoughts. First off, that was another classic Bond film. Although I wouldn't say it was better than Goldfinger, it was another solid entry to the Bond franchise. Terence Young returned to direct, and he did a very good job with this one. I would consider the strengths of the film to be its action, straightforward plot, stunt work, underwater scenes, music, and the continuity of Spectre, whereas the weaknesses might include the pacing and the editing. Let's start with the directing by Terence Young and the screenplay by Richard Maybaum, John Hopkins, and Jack Whittingham. Like the previous films, this one also is based on the Ian Fleming novel of the same name. As I haven't read the book, I don't know how well the film was adapted, but from my initial viewing, it looks like it was pretty well written. I actually like the fact that the movie did not have a overcomplicated plot. The premise was pretty simple. Spectre steals atom bombs and holds them for ransom. Bond investigates and stops them. That's it. And that's all that's honestly needed here, because everything else was very good and very well executed. All the hallmarks of a good Bond film, they're here, from the gadgets to the Aston Martin to the beautiful women, a colorful villain, and great action sequences, especially underwater. The main villain in this one was more believable, as he didn't mind doing his own dirty work. We saw him actually go underwater for the final sequence. I don't think he was as charismatic a villain as Dr. No or Goldfinger, but he was pretty ruthless nonetheless, holding the entire countries of the US and UK hostage. The Bond girls in this film also had larger roles, unlike the previous ones. Young was bold enough to kill two of them here, which I found pretty commendable. The most impressive part of the film were easily the underwater scenes. The whole aspect was incredibly impressive from both a cinematic and production standpoint. The scenes involving the shark, they were so creative that I don't believe they were done like this before. The whole idea that the bad guy has a pool full of sharks is a trope repeated throughout film history, and please correct me if I'm wrong, it originated here, right? One thing I did notice is Young hid the identity of Spectre number 1, the boss. We didn't get to see him for a third time. I'm torn between slight disappointment and eager anticipation of the eventual reveal. I hope they show the head of Spectre soon, as we're 4 movies deep and no closer to knowing his true identity. As I mentioned before, the film ended predictably enough. Bond kills the villain, disarms the atom bombs, and gets the girl at the end. Literally flies off. One thing though, due to the fast-paced editing of the final act, I had trouble following the bomb, and I'm still kind of confused whether the bombs were actually destroyed or retrieved. Do let me know what actually happened, because I couldn't tell. I believe this was an editing issue, and speaking of the editing, I feel like this was the weakest point of the film for me. The first 2 acts were edited well enough, although some scenes did feel like they dragged a little. Maybe Young could have got 10 or 15 minutes of the runtime, at least in the first act or 2. But then again, that can be overlooked pretty easily. But the final action sequence underwater was very hard to follow. Half the time I couldn't tell who was killing whom, and where Largo, the main villain, actually was, because it was all so confusing and everybody was going in every direction. Everybody had their faces covered with diving gear. It could have been done a little better, the editing work. Although these underwater shots were absolutely gorgeous though. And this brings us to the cinematography of the film, which was excellent. Not only did it keep the continuity with the previous films, the underwater shots were some of the best I've seen for films released before the 70s. A lot of the innovation and advanced techniques probably had to be invented for this film, and the underwater scenes had some of the most colorful shots of the entire film, and this included a very colorful Nassau, the Bahamas. Furthermore, the Bahamas themselves, they were shown very beautifully here. The music in Thunderball grew on me as the film dragged on. At first, I was a little unconvinced of the almost high-pitched synth notes that were used, but they really went well with the aquatic theme of the movie. That was a little unexpected for me. The classic Bond theme was used a little more sparingly compared to Goldfinger, and that helped to emphasize the really important scenes. That whenever that music played, my attention was 100% on what the characters were doing. So good use of sound here. The sound design itself, especially the underwater stuff, they were surprisingly good, and so were the rest of the sounds, including the streets of Nassau, the sounds of the guns, and the general atmosphere of the film itself. The props, stunts, sets, and the general production of the film, they were very impressive and a particular highlight for me. All the props, including the jetpack, the Aston Martin, the watches, the submarines, and whatever I missed, all of them, they were very well made and convincing. The sets were elaborate and beautiful, especially the lair of Spectre. They had the lair had a very distinctive, cold and postmodern look, which suited the look of this sinister organization. The stunt work done by Connery and the rest of the team were nothing short of excellent too. I could see great work in the production department. Sir Sean Connery played 007. He was amazing as usual in his role, and I'm glad to say that he's slowly replacing Daniel Craig as my favorite Bond. Don't get me wrong, Craig is also a great Bond with a different take, but he lacks a certain charm Connery brings to the table. The unrelenting confidence and the calm under pressure is a hallmark of probably all the Bond actors, but Connery does it just a little better, at least better than Craig or Pierce Brosnan. I think the next film is You Only Live Twice, and I'm very much looking forward to Connery's return as the world's most famous spy. As I mentioned my main criticism of the film earlier, the editing, overall, Thunderball was another fantastic entry in the James Bond franchise. Sir Sean Connery steals the show again with another winning performance as 007. Although the plot was kept simple and the editing could have been improved in the third act, it did not take away from the fantastic and creative action, gadgets, setting, music, and holy crap, the underwater scenes. I can't wait to finish the rest of the franchise so I can rank them in the order I like them. Anyways, thank you for watching. I have a Patreon page. Consider being a patron. Subscribe to the channel. Click that bell icon for instant notifications. Do check out my other videos. Like if you like this video, dislike it if you didn't. I will see you in the next one. Bye.